O Lord our God, you were there when you called these martyrs into life. We imagine that as they lay on the ground, dead, you were there, bringing them to yourself. You will be there when we meet again. Comfort those who mourn. Enable them to cast the burden of their grief upon you and know the consolation of your love. God bless Africa. Guard her children. Guide her leaders and give her peace. Prepare us for a new dispensation of justice, where fear is banished, where violence cannot exist, and where our dignity is restored. In your name, Amen.
Dlala Nkosi singadeli imfundiso zezwi lakho uze usivuselele sive inyaniso yakho sive inyaniso yakho sive inyaniso The book of Proverbs says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it, and they are safe.
Whoa, 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 Sibonge kakhulu kusisi uSiphokazi, sibonge kakhulu futhi nakubaba uZulu. Ubaba uGama simbonge naye, siyabonga emlangeni. Without any further ado, we'd like to introduce to you President we-Amcu, ubaba Joseph Mathunjwa.
Siyabonga. Siyabonga. Thank you very much. Siyabonga. Siyabonga kakhulu. Mphathi wohlelo, sibonga kakhulu ukuze kufike manje. Kukhona elinye iculo esathi silapha entabeni notata nabafowethu. Ngalicula nabafowethu uMagidwane noXolani. Angazi ngizonciphisa ispeech sibe sincane ukuthetha kwami. Angazi usisi usehambile na. Usisi uSiphokazi angazi usehambile yini, angahamba kanjani leculo lama ngazange lenze, ngoba umsebenzi obungapheleleliswanga uma leculo lengazange licule noma ngabe nje ivesi elilodwa nje. Lishilo iculo lithi lizalise idinga lakho Thixo wenyaniso. Kasi amadoda ayovuma nini ukugoba amadolo awo phambi kwakaThixo, ngoba uThixo uyathethelela, uThixo unomusa.
Senzeni na, 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 senzeni. Senzeni na, senzeni na, saphela isizwe sethu, asisena bazali, asina makhosikazi. Senzeni na, senzeni. Besebenzela insapho zabo, bafa bengayolelanga. Oh senzeni na, oh senzeni. Senzeni na, senzeni. Abazali bengekho, oh lingekafiki ixesha amaphupha engafezekanga. Oh senzeni na, senzeni na, sibhubhile siphelile sazela komnye umntu ubulale ngenalo nexhala abulale elinye igazi. Oh, senzeni na, senzeni na, senzeni, senzeni na. Oh, senzeni na, 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 senzeni na.
Senzeni na. Sathi masicula leliculo ndithetha notata bethu nabafowethu. Ndalibona izulu lijika. Ndalibona ifu liphakama. Ndatsho ngathi bafondini sekugqityiwe ngani. Isigqibo sesithathiwe. Asambeni bafowethu. Kodwa zange banikeze ithuba lokuba nigoduke. Ndivumeleke ndifunde ngokushesha umlayezo wanamhlanje. The 8th commemoration of the Marikana Massacre. Today, as we commemorate the 8th anniversary of Marikana Massacre, their blood still cries out from the ground. We will continue our campaign for restitution, not just monetary compensation, but also for true restitution. Before we can have restitution, we need penance from those who perpetrated these crimes. They need to ask forgiveness from those whose lives they sought to destroy. As we read in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 21 and verse 22, since my people crushed, I'm crushed. I moan and horror grips me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then there is no healing for the wound of my people? That was Jeremiah. Then in Jeremiah 12, verse 1 and verse 4, we read, you are always righteous, Lord, when I bring a case before you, yet I will speak with you about your justice. Why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do all the faithless live at ease? And verse 4, how long will the land lie parched and the grass in every field be withered? Because those who live in it are wicked. The animals and the birds have perished. Moreover, the people are saying, he will not see what happened to us. This was the cry from Jeremiah. engaging with God, because seeing that the people who are unrighteous, they prosper. The people who are wicked, they prosper. The people who are corrupt, they prosper. And he had this engagement. But the question that is more profound is in verse 8, when Jeremiah asked the question, is there no balm in Gilead? What is profound with this passage is because the people who were listening to him, they took the message. Like for instance, as I'm an unlearned person, a mere mortal man. But around Jeremiah, there were those who were learned. They take the message and they strengthen it and they work around it. They work around it to liberate God's people. This is the question in South Africa. Is there no balm in South Africa? There is no physician in South Africa. There is no academia in South Africa who are watching people of God being perished through corruption and through atrocities. Let me move. We previously said that it is wrong to call it the Marikana Massacre, as Marikana only refers to a place where it happened and not to the responsible party, which was Lon Min. We said it should be called Lon Min Massacre. But now, Sibanye Stillwater has been given Lon Min as a trophy for their exploitation of workers' rights. In terms of Section 197 of the Labor Relations Act, they have taken over all the assets and liabilities of Lon Min. Therefore, we should call this massacre Sibanye Stillwater Massacre. We are no longer going to call it Marikana Massacre. We are no longer going to call it Lon Min Massacre, but we are going to call it Sibanye Stillwater Massacre. These people are cousins. They are the same. Their behavior, how they walk, how they hear, how they see, how they perceive, how they draw opinion on the black life, it's the same. They are trying by all means to put their dirty linen under the carpet. They want to cleanse the legacy of capitalism or the capitalist by changing the names. Sibanye Stillwater still operate with the same modus operandi of the previous oppressor and exploiter. We can see clearly how they operate. What happened on the 16th of August 2012 was carefully planned and orchestrated by an unholy alliance of the state and the capital to protect their interests. This transformed a democratically elected government into a fascist state. From the first commemoration in our messages and addresses, we told them that it is the time to transform our economy. Look at where we are today. It is time to move away from extractive economy where the only focus is to take all our wealth, commodities, and export it to other countries and create the wealth for other nations. It is time to stop creating the good nationals. It is time for industrialization and investment in our own infrastructure. We also told them that our education system needs a revamp, as it does not produce job creators but job seekers. How many times should we say this as Amcu? Unemployment remains our greatest enemy, comrades. Why then are we still giving out 350 rand to encourage unemployment? We should have taken the 350 rand to encourage proper job creation instead of justifying unemployment in our country. We remember what happened. asikhohlwanga silibalanga siyakhumbula kahle ukuthi kwenzakalani. The Sibanye massacre was a tipping point that unraveled the deep-rooted injustice underlining the structural deficiency of our economy. On that fateful Thursday afternoon, 16 August 2012, the workers confronted the ruthless exploitative capitalist system demanding a living wage with real consequences, with fatal consequences. As I said back in 2016, in this country we do not have leaders, but we've got managers. The state, acting as a gatekeeper of the white monopoly capital, kill fellow South Africans in order to prove to their masters that their foreign direct investments is safe. This collusion has persisted beyond this massacre to recent violent encounters at the gold mines in the Free State, also in West Rand, during the 5-month strike of gold strike in 2019. During the strike, Sibanye Stillwater was caught servicing police vehicles, South African police vehicles, at their workshop. The question is why the private sector was servicing the vehicle of the state. But the answer is very simple. They were continuing with the agenda of the Lonmin massacre. This same Sibanye was allowed to become a monopoly in mining, even though their safety record was so poor. Their industrial relation was so poor, but they were allowed to swallow all the mines in South Africa. We told the Competitions Commission, which denied the wishes of the majority of the workers who wanted to buy these assets. This would have been a true economic emancipation. The workers of Lonmin wanted to buy Lonmin. They had over 5 billion to 7 billion in their provident fund, of which they dedicated to buy Lonmin. That could have been a true economic emancipation. But the government denied the workers that opportunity. South Africans, we own nothing in this country. Absolutely nothing. Even the companies that are baking bread and cakes are not South Africans. Pharmaceutical companies are not us, are not owned by. We own nothing, absolutely nothing in this country. Even bread itself are not South African, just to mention the few. The state continues to fail in running of state-owned enterprises while taking money from the country fund to self-creating failures like SAA. These SOEs is not that they are not capable. This SOEs is not to say they cannot be run, but they make it sure that they fail in order to make sure that the private sector exists and continue to oppress us. They make it easy for the capitalists, for the white monopoly to have no competition in terms of the bulk infrastructure in this country and to plunge our people into poverty. South Africa will never see the sun. If we can squander 500 billion in 3 months with nothing to show it, how can we then claim to manage this economy? We could have ensured that the provision of many basic services to our communities with that money. As the water-scarce country, we should have built dams, water reservoirs, and the government promised before, during, and recent droughts. We were promised that the dams will be built. We could have created infrastructure to support our society. We need to transform our education system. Our education system is not responsive to the challenges of our country. It is a high time that those in power to change the curriculum to address the issue of unemployment. Our education system produces unemployable persons and job seekers and not job creators. Our education system is designed to serve the capitalist power and not to greater agenda of bettering our society and in economic emancipation. To achieve this, we must decolonize our education, which will enable us to decolonize our thinking. This is also true in the reverse. We must first decolonize our thinking to decolonize our education system. The education system must speak to the current realities and the practical things that the citizens need. We are being let down by our leaders. By serving the capitalist power, the system was designed to focus on extraction of the minerals. We only extract. We do not design. We do not beneficiate. We do not add value. We must create young people who are designers, who are creators, not just wage earners, who are forced to work for cruel capitalists. Our ailing economy. From 2008 and to 2009, when we were hit by the global financial crisis, we never really recovered. Now we have 37% of unemployment, and the graduates represent money wasted for their parents who are still paying their study loans. They put their children into higher education, they are not employed. But their parents, they are still paying those loans. We are not responsive to the challenges of the country. Capitalism has shown that it has totally failed. It has failed us as a nation, has failed us as a continent, and it is time to look at other models. Capitalism alone cannot address the challenges of Africa, as it was designed to serve the masters and to serve the few. This is witnessed by our government borrowing from the IMF. Those sins will be paid by our next generation. They have indebted the next generation to be the slaves of the master of the white monopoly capital. The other models to look at include redesigning of our economy to focus less on extraction of new commodities and to blunt exportation of such. We must focus on beneficiation and adding value to the manufacturing sector. We must industrialize. Time is now. We need to focus on food security and the value of collectivism as it becomes clear in agriculture. The state must impose regulatory measures such as a quota system of imports versus exports. We cannot just open the floodgates for each and make our country a dumping ground. The state must follow many first world countries in establishing subsidies and trade tariffs to protect our local industries. We need to protect ourselves against aggressive economy forces like those from China and the Far East. Unemployment is at the heart of our problems. We must create new jobs and more jobs. Job creation and the synergy with industrial development is where we need to focus. The sunset clauses in CODESA have had far-reaching influence in the post-democracy. South African capitalism has failed the country, being most unequal society in the world, facing the triple challenge of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Today, as workers, we produce things we don't consume and cannot even afford. This is an unsustainable economy model. We need to review our trade agreements to protect local industries, starting with the moratorium that only 60% of our platinum and other minerals can be exported and 40% for the beneficiating in our local industries. That will enable us to create new jobs. Government should institute a tariff system that protects local industry and also regulate SMMEs so that local entrepreneurs are given a space to breed. COVID-19 in the South African labor market. This pandemic has ravaged the whole world. We as South Africans, we expose our failures to address the challenges of poverty and inequality. Our focus is always importing things. We are failing even to produce a face mask. Really? Really? Face mask. We have to import face mask, just a cloth on our face. These are the basic things that we cannot design and manufacture it ourselves. This was an opportunity lost. How many billions went to Asia for things that could have been manufactured here in this country? How many billions went to Asia to stimulate their economy while our economy in our country is dying? Those graduates who are unemployed could have been recruited to support the key government department to ensure the compliance. How many graduates are sitting at home doing nothing? We needed more inspectors to ensure compliance in the different sectors. It could have been assisted greatly in both addressing unemployment and challenges of enforcement. In health, we could have greatly improved our capacity. How many graduates are sitting at home? No value to the country. COVID came with pains, but also with opportunities. But we used these opportunities in the wrong way. We supported the places where the virus came from. How dumb we are. Today we mark the 8th commemoration of the Stillwater Massacre as a difficult time facing workers and the labor movement in general. Millions of South Africans are losing their jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic that has become an economic pandemic. We warned in April already that the companies will abuse this virus to shed more jobs. Stillwater, that has been glorified as the best company in South Africa by those who are learned. They were threatening 8,900 jobs to be shed. We said, why are we still importing PPEs? Are we a country that will continue to fail the nation or to fail its citizens? As Amcu, we have always been opposed to the country retrenchment laws that allow business to remain, to allow the business to make more profit in the expense of the livelihoods of the people. Section 189 of the Labor Relations Act, it gives the employers the power to increase their hyper profit in the expense of the workers. In the year 2019, Amcu National Congress, we resolved to submit a problem statement before NEDLAC for the review of these retrenchment laws. However, the pandemic has accelerated our problems in both sides and agencies. Our members are under siege in all sectors of our economy. Besides the retrenchment, the pandemic has transformed our traditional understanding of workplace with many people working from home. In examining COIDA, there is a fundamental question of classifying COVID-19 as an occupational disease for Workers' Compensation Fund claims. The lockdown has condemned workers to no work, no pay. The UIF and TERS system has also faced its challenges, including difficulties with application and cases of fraud and corruption. Amcu was the first union to challenge the workplace readiness for the return to work for our members by taking DMRE to court to gazette a minimum standard for health and safety. We won our case at the Labour Court, and the DMRE was forced to set a minimum standard. It is said that a trade union must spend members' money to tell the government how to do their job. We need to join hands and stop the job bloodbath. A most urgent question is, where is the 500 billion stimulus package given as a bailout to business? We demand a list of all companies that benefited and to see if they are not retrenching workers while they have received this bailout. Urgent need to save the economy. There is a need for an economy lockdown post-COVID-19 where policies like BBBE are done away with it. How can the foreign direct investors empower us on our economy, on our minerals? We should empower them, not them empowering us. This is our minerals given by God. In 2016, I said the same. It is really absurd to think that a foreign national company can come to South Africa and change your livelihood. They are here to loot. They are here to make money, to secure the future of their country and their children. We need transformation in terms of electoral system. Our constitutional democracy is the foundation of the political system. The Constitution of South Africa is seen as the best in the world, but in fact it has destroyed the fabric of our society and our moral values. Freedom without limitation is nothing but anarchy. The lawlessness rendering our country a banana republic. In a constitutional democracy, the Constitution is above elected government of the people, above the judiciary and even parliament. The Western values supporting the democratic, political and capitalist economy system are in direct contrast of the African value system. These value systems are built on collectivism. We say, umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, I am because of you, which was the foundation of African governance, and it was held that inkosi ngabantu. South African democracy continued to be arrested by an ailing party democratic system, which 99 political parties in the parliament. What is this called? There is no retrenchment, there is no section 189 in that parliament, there is no retirement. Is it a canon or what? I don't know. Sengilibon, Sengiliboni, Kanon. Ikanana lama politician. Comrade, we are faced with serious problem. We need to explore the possibility of federal system due to weak governance that has failed us. In a federal system, provinces are given greater autonomy to run their administration and to be accountable to their respective constituencies. We say premiers must be elected by their citizens residing in their particular provinces in order to be accountable. Currently, once a party wins the election, that party can deploy a person to serve as a premier of a province. Similarly, the state president should be elected by the citizens, not by the members of a particular political party. We call for that. Let the president of the country be elected by the citizens of the country, not by the political party, because he will be accountable to his political party, not to us as the citizen of the country. This will ensure accountability to the citizens and the service delivery to all communities. Currently, the only accountability is to the party political caucuses and structures. Gender-based violence. Day in, day out, women are killed. And a girl child is maimed and raped and killed. There is no stop to this. The women, you are on your own. They have been crying for help. The women of this country have been crying for help. But the only thing that they get is promises, summit, commissions, protest, marches, eloquent speeches, and talk shops. That's what we only give you as men. Women, you are on your own. If the government is really serious, what is it that stops them from bringing back the death penalty? What stops them? Why? Currently, criminals know that will face no real hardship. They will serve maybe 25 years. Then they will get a presidential pardon. And then they are out and they continue where they left. If we have the death penalty for a classified, prioritized crimes, they will know what will happen to them. If this government really care about the contribution of the women who bear the brand of apartheid, of the Nationalist Party, their tears and the scars of apartheid, to bring this country into the new dispensation, what stopped the state from amending the constitution and its regulatory framework to bring back death penalty? This country is killing more people than the people who are killed in Afghanistan in the war-torn zone. Women of South Africa, you must go and read the Bible. Luke chapter 12. Jesus speaks with a young man who was very rich. And he thought that he's a creator of everything. You know, sometimes when men, they've got money, they are living in luxury, in opulent lifestyle, they think they are the creators. They forget that they were created themselves. That's why we don't respect you. And Jesus speaks to this young man. You must go and read your Bible. Especially I challenge you, human. Jesus called this young man, you fool. What are you expecting from us when Jesus called us fool? We are fool because we are not looking after you. We are looking after ingcebo yethu. Sibheke izinto zethu esinazo, sinasikhathi sakho sokuprotecta. We don't have that. Sibheke lifestyle yethu. Nisifakile ku power. Sibheke ukutya lokho enisifakele kona pha asinandaba nawo. And Jesus said, you fool, you have gathered all this wealth, but see to it, I'm visiting you tonight. Ubani ozoyidla le ngcebo yakho. So if Jesus can call the man a fool, and you put you women a trust in the man of whom Jesus called him a fool, we are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. And surely the statisticians, they can tell us that women are more than us, men. You can outvote us. You can put a woman president. You can put all the ministers to be women for that matter, in order to protect yourself. Because we men, we have failed you. Why do you want to eat in our lap? Whereas you've got the power. You can change it yourself, this thing tomorrow. You need not to wait for me, Joseph Mathunjwa, because Jesus has already called me a fool. I have failed you. Where are the Esthers of the Bible of this age? Where are the Deborahs of this age? Who are the judges? Nifundile boma. Nina yonke ingcebo uThixo aniphe yona. Nihlakaniphile. Ubani onixelela amadoda ahlakaniphe ukudlula nina? Wake up from your slumber. Take control of your future. The man has failed you. We maim you, we rape you, you abuse you 24/7. What can you expect from us? Stop attending those seminars, those empty speeches that does not bring protection and security in your homes. Abomama baka 1956 bamasha izinto zenzeka. Kutheni nikhona ntoni? Yini into enisayilindile nifa? Liyotshona ilanga, we are not sure that you will see the sun tomorrow. Bomamba, ixesha leli lokuthi nisukume. We men, we have failed you. We have failed you. We are equal before God. It's not that the man is what? Is better before the eyes of God than you. Don't allow yourself to be the proxy of men. Just to take them to power, after then they cannot even protect you. Bring back the death penalty. You rape, you are dead. You rape, we cut your penis. Simple as that. What stops us that? Is shimane lezi. Azwazi ukutshela. Ndiyacela kuni bomama ukuthi ningavumi nakancinci ukuthi leli xesha linidlule. Uhulumente makashintshe le constitution. The apartheid government has abused the constitution to kill our heroes and heroines. But them, they will use it responsible, this death penalty. That to advocate. Amba no thetha phaya. Ayitshintshwe le constitution. Ayisasebenzeli. If a country cannot protect its children, its women, what's the use yamadoda? Mhlawumbe sithatha amabhruku ethu sinikeza abomama baqoke thina sifake izigate. We have failed them, and we are continue failing them religiously so. Kwanina manje sinibiza niyaphuma niyosiqhwabela izandla sinixokele siqoka kuni. Akuthi mabanibiza ningayi. Take a stand from today. Uthixo uthi Yesu, you man, you fool, I'm coming for you tonight. Sibaleka siyaphambili. This gender violence must stop. We've got power. Can you imagine ubangathiwa abomama bonke bayasuka bayohlala e-union building sambe siyonifuna khona singabotata lapho nizolibona ukuthi ni serious about this gender based violence. Owami unkosikazi mangaqobatha ngeke khawuse union building ndiyomfuna khona siyoqhibela sonke siphaya umthetho uzotshintsha. Bhukulani into zakuthi 1956 babhukula bhukulani sonilandela thina. Comrade, coming closer, the issue of gender-based violence must stop. Yes, it starts with me. No, it starts with the president. Must change the constitution. We gave him powers. They are in the parliament to look after the nation. It starts with him. Who I am, who are you? You cannot change the constitution. He's got powers. He starts with the state president. I challenge Comrade Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa to go and call the sitting and change the constitution. Bring back penalty. You rape a girl child. You rape my mother, my sister. Your penis is off. Simple as that. Yakuhlupha ngithi lento. Mayihlupha ikhathwe. Mawungazi ukuthi kufanele ukuthi uyipake kuphi. The promise, when women, we are on our own, the promise of taking workers out of poverty as Amcu, indeed, we make it. When we came in 2012, after the Marikana strike, or after the Marikana loan strike and even the Sibanye Stillwater massacre, we moved from 3,800 in 2012 to 13,000 as a basic salary in 2020. That's a huge move. There is no worker in this mine who's still earning 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Amcu came in Rustenburg in those mines. There is no worker, general worker, who's earning less than the amount I just mentioned. An attack to Amcu. Amcu has faced many attacks and it continues. Lately we found evidence that the state is conniving with our detractors in destabilizing Amcu. Comrade, we've been threatened by deregistration, putting us into administration. What they call us a not genuine trade union. We are not a genuine trade union. What is a genuine trade union? It's a trade union that look after its members, holding all constitutional meetings. That is what we are doing. They are threatening us with administration, the same government. Then I will ask them today that if Amcu is complying in terms of the Labor Relations Act, but we are threatening and we are delivering for our members, no member of Amcu cry fouls. All members of Amcu are happy. Niyababona, bayacwebezela. Sabathola bagula ngathi baphethe ikhwasho basese ku NUM. Hamba ubabheke bayacwebezela uyabona nawo. Hamba emakhaya uyobona izindlu abazakhayo. Hamba uyobheka izibaya zigcwele impahla. Kwafika iAmcu, kwafika uMathunjwa, kwashintsha imithetho. So if the government is threatening us to put us under administration, I think it's our government that's supposed to go to administration, not us. We are complying with our constitution. They fail us. They must be in administration. There must be a government of collusion because they failed. They are the one that must go for administration. Khetwa amadoda amajaji phaya bathi ranani country kubizwa amanye election at the right time. It's not the regime change, it's the right of us as citizens. Hence we are calling that the state president must be elected by the citizen, not by the political party. An attack to Amcu is an attack to the working class. Amcu is a militant trade union. We are not apologetic to white monopoly capital. We take them head on. Let's go to Sibanye. We've seen Sibanye trying to claim to be a preferred employer. They've undermined the culture of the black people. Sibanye went and erected a memorial stone or whatever they call it without the consent of the widows. How can you do such a thing? Is to show that Fronemani undermine everyone. He's a drum major. You know what is a drum major? He's the one that beat the drum and the rest follow him. So Neil Fronemani is a drum major of our struggle. He wants us to follow him, to march behind him. They kill our brothers and sisters at Kopi. Now is taking their culture. How can you erect a wall of remembrance or whatever stone you can call it and engrave the names of the people who were massacred by your cousin Lon Min without the consent of the family? Yini ibizwa ngokuthiwa yini leyo nto? Usiphuze inyongo lo mhlekazi. Siyakuxelela Froneman, go and remove that wall of remembrance. Go and remove. Our culture does not allow you, white monopoly, to interfere nezithethe zakuthi. That's the way how they operate. They went and do the PR exercise, try to hijack your pain. What do? They went and employ the former public protector, Umama Donzela, to come to be the keynote speaker. Ndiyamhlonipha uMama Donzela, but lento ayenzileyo mina ndambhalela ndise office, head office eAmcu, ask assistance from her, complaining about the very same loan min, complaining about the very same mining sector. Her response to me was very simple. No, we don't interfere with the private sector. Because he was a black young man, Joseph Mathunjwa, who was calling him to assist. But when he's called by the white master, he runs and do the PR in the expense of the pain of the black people. And he go and sing praises of Sibanye. Sibanye, still water. Has it been Tunkanini? Did he set her foot in the mountain, in the copy? Have he met the widows and the arrested and the injured? Has he raised her voice during the massacre? No one. No one. Njengomama osizwile isinkemba sisika befike ngabe naye ukhulumile wathetha wathi noma ndiwu public protector kodwa leyanto labantu bayi part of public. He should have said something, but they were quiet. But when the white monopoly calls, they run without limitation. Maibuye Africa, maibuye. Comrade, yes, we know for sure that COVID has changed many things, but Amcu is trying its best to use different platforms to communicate with members. We are having our constitutional meeting through the Microsoft team. We must observe the regulation as much as we can to save our families and to save our loved ones and the communities. Comrade, in conclusion, we must never allow Sibanye to undermine us. We must never allow a white monopoly capital to undermine us. They are lying, they are saying they built 6 houses. What they did, they took old houses where Bas van der Merwe was living, where maybe van der Merwe or Kos or Jan died in that house. They painted, they give you as a white widow, as a black widow. It's still undermining you. Amcu built a new house. Toilet, flashing toilets. With a fireplace inside. Proper bedroom, 3-bedroom house, proper. Whenever you lose job, whether you retire, you go home, you don't own a bank. You don't owe any white monopoly any cent. They gave those 6 families houses where in Rustenburg, right in town. At the same time, he's busy retrenching them. After he retrenched them, how are they going to maintain the very same house? Huh? Bazo zenzani lezindlu makaqeda ukuba retrench. Umbane bazawukhokhela ngani? The rates and taxes bazazikhokhela ngani? Kodwa iAmcu ikwakhele umuzi ekhaya. Apho uzothi mase udikiwe, uthi mase uhlele ekhaya, wazi ukuthi lo muzi ndakhelwa ngabasebenzi abayizimembers eAmcu andikweleti kushaya isicathulo sami apha. Comrade, we have to unite as Africans. We have to build this economy. We have to build this economy for the future of our children. No one will do for us. As I'm closing, go back to the book of Jeremiah chapter 8. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no balm in South Africa? Nasi sive siphela. Uthi utata, may his soul rest in peace, utata uMadiba uthi ningixolele mangathethanga kahle in terms of iquote yakhe kodwa uthetha into efana nale ethi imfundo isikhali esingashintsha izwe. Ndithi mina depends ukuthi eyo education ikusiphi isandla and is aiming at who. Uma education is esandleni esi-wrong, is destroying the very same people who seek to uplift. How many of our black brothers who are educated but we don't benefit, but they sleep in one bed with our exploiters and our oppressors? They are educated. They've got this education, but this education cannot liberate us, but it oppresses us. They dine in the same table with our oppressors, with their eloquent speeches. Today, bazothi izwa ne-English kaMathunjwa nama-tense akaya better. But it has liberated the working class in South Africa. Your English and your education, what has it done for the black child? You steal from them with the same education that you have. Look at the education of the sub-steward called Joseph Mathunjwa. Has changed the livelihood of the mine workers in South Africa. We took the money from illicit financial flows going to the Bermudas connection in safe haven. We put it back in the livelihood of our black brothers and sisters. Who can do that except Amcu? Show me. We have changed the status quo. You like it or not, you'll hate me or you love me, I don't care. I know I'm a walking grave. When I speak, I'm dead. When I'm quiet, I'm dead. Why should I fear? Why should I fear? We will stand up for righteousness. We will stand up for justice for our people. I'm not expecting a foreign person to talk on my behalf. Why Africa is starving even today with this beautiful weather that God gave us. The money is the food that they pile in their stores while the African child is hungry. Look at Somalia. When will Somalia reach Canaan? They are ever walking. They are ever sleeping in the forest. Africa, with all the wealth that we have, what happened to our black leaders? Don't you have a conscience? There is no balm in Gilead. There is no balm in Africa. Where are the learned ones? Where are the philosophers of this day? Where are the politicians of this day that have a conscience? You cannot lead God's people if you don't fear God. Forget. Forget. We were created in the image of God, not in the image of an A person, a political party. No. I fear God. I don't fear a mortal man. Rise, Africa. Surely our forebearers are turning, tossing in the grave. Abotatu Tambo, Abotatu Sobukwe, Nabo bonke, Abotatu Krisani, when they look down, they cry. This is what we fought for. This is what we fought for. This is what we risked our lives. Some of them, they were like Moses. They never saw the Canaan, which is Babu Krisan, may his soul rest in peace. He fought fearlessly for me and you and our children. He never saw the Canaan of the new South Africa. But look what are they doing. They are pissing right on his grave. Wake up, ANC. When I was following the history of this African National Congress, it was led by the men of rope. It was formed right in the church. So that means God was first. God was directing the African National Congress. Who's directing it today? Let them go back to church. Let them go back and kneel before the mercy seat. Said, God, we have wronged you and your people. Restore us in power. Give us a clear conscience to lose your people. God will forgive them. Until such time they do that, no, nothing will go good for them. Amabhunu ayithi bayiqeda ukuremove abantu bakhe isonto. What are we doing? Every corner of the community is a tavern. Huh? We never come back to God and say, God, we thank you. From Britons to Afrikaners, we took the power. 25 years we are in tatters. Amabhunu spent more than 300 years. Huh? Prosper. Huh? Let's go back to basics. Let's go back to God. We are the prodigal son. And said, God, sonile kuwe. Asafane nokubizwa ngithiwa singabantwana bakho. Kodwa ngomsa wakho sixolele. And his grace is sufficient for all of us. Bomama, Thixo anisikelele. Aniqinise. Singeke saniyekelela. Ngeke ndivume kwam kube nekhandlela elayitayo kakho, ikhandlela ingalayiti. Abantwana bomuntu bahlephulelana inhloko yentethe. Qinani nibheke emnqamlezweni onguThixo. uThixo wayekhona, uThixo uyazi. Uyazi futhi ukuthi kuyogqibela ntoni. Their blood still cries out from the ground. Lisakhala igazi labo, uzolizwa uThixo, uzawuphendula. uNkulunkulu wethu uphendula, if angaphenduli kimi to my generation uzophendula. Thixo anibusise. Sisaqhubeka siyobeka izintyatyambe endaweni yakhona. uThixo asigcine asipha amandla. Siyabonga members of the media. Siyabonga bomama bobafowethu leadership yase Northwest nasema branchini. uThixo anisikelele. Siyaqonda kuba sisebenza under ubunzima obukhulu phezu kwabantu abangafuni impumelelo umuntu omnyama abasetshenziswayo ukusibhuqa. Kodwa uThixo ukhona. Uyoba khona nasekugqibeleni. uThixo anibusise. Enkosi.